Thank you for being a part of this event. We extend a special welcome to our Reggio students, their families, and also to members of our staff who were able to get here this afternoon. Our Reggio families believed us, trusted us, and were patient with us as we struggled to make this school building a reality. Thank you. Getting to this point was not easy in any way, but we did share a vision, and that brought commitment, perseverance, and a team effort that couldn't be beat. The town of Avon provided invaluable guidance, which we appreciated and which made this a better project. The unifying principle for all participants was that this was the right thing to do for children and families. And that conviction created this extraordinary structure, which will now educate tens of thousands of young children in the years ahead. What a wonderful way for us to earn a living. I would now like to introduce a man who is not only CREC's executive director, he is an educator, a mentor and a friend, and a very accomplished advocate for equal educational opportunity. Without his leadership and vision, we would not be here doing this today. Please welcome Dr. Bruce Douglas.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here. It's so awkward to be standing behind a podium and speaking through a microphone, but I'm going to try to do my best. So today's a great day. It's a vision come true. When I think about this school, I remember in 2008, in April of 2008, we got a call from the Connecticut State Department of Education saying, Bruce, could you all open up 4 magnet schools by September? Right? And so this was one of those schools. Right? And so this school, I think, has moved 3 times, from one place in Avon to 20 Security Drive to over here, and our teachers have been magnificent. The parents have been magnificent. Our children have been magnificent. And we've had a whole generation of children who started out here as 3- and 4-year-olds who are now, I think, in the 5th grade. So great things have happened here. I want to thank our teachers for all your work, but I want to thank you especially for being here this afternoon, right? Teachers and staff, because I was a teacher for 15 years. And I know what I looked like on a Friday afternoon. Right? You look much better than I ever looked, I've been trained to, not tell it like it really is. But we have a wine bar in back, for you afterward, okay? So hopefully you'll be able to get through this, and we're going to try to expedite this very well. So when we were asked to open up those 4 schools, I said yes to it, and then oftentimes, when you say yes and then you go back and you reconsider what you said yes to, that night, in the middle of the night, you wake up at 2:30 in the morning and you say, I can't do this. Okay, I don't know what we've gotten ourselves into, and all of the fears come out. And so the next day, when I was at work and some of our administrators were asking me, well, how do you think we're going to be able to pull this off? We agreed that failure would not be an option, right? And so we just did it. And CREC marshaled its resources, and it was a major task. And there are many people in this room who contributed to the opening of those 4 schools. Just recently, we opened up another school in South Windsor, which was one of those schools that we opened up that summer in 2008. So it was quite an achievement on the part of my colleagues, and quite an achievement on the part of the teachers, and quite an achievement on the part of the families, and of course, the children. So it was a great day. This school is a monument. When we built this school, and all of our schools, our first criteria was to do justice to the trust that the state of Connecticut gave us with regard to the funding for building this school. And we decided that our schools would be a monument to children, okay? And that it would send a message that everyone who comes into this school is highly valued, And what happens in this school is highly valued. It would be a symbol of the values of a community. You know, I know there's a small town in Montana along the Bitterroot River, and when you drive into the town, before you see "Welcome to Darby, Montana," there's a bronze of a family. And that's the first message that you get from that town, right? Sends you a message. This is what we're all about, okay? We're all about a family, right? And so, I don't know if any of you have thought about it, but I don't know of very many places where we have statues of children in Connecticut. Anybody know where there's one? Asylum Avenue, Alice Cogswell, beautiful young lady who's standing there in the hands of someone. You know that statue in the center of Hartford? We all drive by it and we don't even see it anymore, right? It's the only statue that I know of that's a statue to a child. And it's a symbol of what people in that area believed in. Right? But in Connecticut and across the United States lately in the development of schools, our schools have not really been symbols or monuments to our children. But there's no greater thing that we should express than how important our children are. How important our children are. And one way, unfortunately, that we express that in the state of Connecticut is with one of the largest achievement gaps in the United States. Right? So this school is not only a monument to the children who go to this school, it's a monument to all children. And it's a monument to social justice. Because this school was born out of the Chef V. O'Neill case, a case where the Connecticut Supreme Court stepped forward and said that there are children who live in Hartford who do not have an equal opportunity to a great education simply because of their color, their ethnicity, and their family income. Now, having been a social studies teacher, and always having been proud of the United States, that's a reprehensible statement to me. Okay? I can't tolerate that. Okay? I want to be proud of my country. And I don't want to think that we have this kind of behavior in our country, but we do. And so this school is a monument to overcoming that kind of behavior. But this school is also a monument to the failure, okay, of not addressing not just Hartford, but Bridgeport and New Haven and other towns throughout the state of Connecticut where we have this significant achievement gap. So all of us here today really need to remember that and to know that that's still happening. And we still have a long, long way to go. And since this court case was settled over 20 years ago, the only community in the state that was severely impacted by it with regard to opportunities for children was Hartford. And are we waiting for another court case in order to tackle Bridgeport, in order to tackle New Haven? What do we need in the state of Connecticut in order for us to recognize this problem and go after it? Do we have to go to court in order for this to happen, or just by virtue of the fact that we know it exists, okay, should we take it on? I'm in favor of taking it on before we have another court case. So, enough about that kind of thing. This school is also a monument to teachers. We have great teachers in this school. They've moved several times, and just recently they moved in. And let me tell you about the move-in. It was really easy. Right? Our teachers had to begin unpacking in their other site. Had to begin packing in their other site. And if you know what it's like for a teacher to begin to pack up their supplies, their goods, their tools for teaching, they don't want to give it up. Okay? Teachers are packers, they're hoarders, they're pack rats. Everything is valuable, and they need everything every day. And to give some of it up is almost impossible to ask a teacher to do. But over a period of 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we asked our teachers to pack up. And at the same time, the principal was saying, don't let it look like anything's not happening in your classroom, okay? But just pack everything up and be ready to go. And so the movers came the last day, just before the Christmas holidays. The school was emptied incredibly fast, and things were moved over here. And when I walked into this place and I saw that the last-minute repairs, the last-minute adjustments were being made to the school. Carpenters were in the building, plumbers were in the building, technicians were in the building. Ora and Elle was killing themselves, cleaning the floors every 5 minutes, and our teachers were coming in, trying to unpack, and then we had a snowstorm. All right. We had a snowstorm, then we had another snowstorm, and then school's called off. Right? And then there we were. Right? Friday, school was called off. Nobody could get in. The weather was really bad. We were going to open up on Monday. So our teachers came in on Friday. Our teachers came in on Saturday. Our teachers came in on Sunday. And they were here till late Sunday night, so that when our children walked in that following Monday during a rainstorm, right, everything was ready to go. And this was a beautiful school. And that Monday morning, okay, this school looked like it had been ready for years for these kids. Right? And this was a dedication on the part of our faculty. And for that, I want to thank you. You are magnificent people. Thank you. You know, there's an old phrase in the military that says, I'd jump in a foxhole with you, right? I'd jump in a foxhole with you anytime. You're a tough bunch. So thank you very much for that. So, this school is very expensive, not just in terms of the money that was generated by the Connecticut General Assembly and the State Department of Education, but it was very expensive in the battles fought in order to get this school. And someday I'll tell you about those battles, but they were great battles, and the battles still go on. So we have to remember that. Now, moving on, I want to recognize some people who are here with us today who contributed to the development and the construction of this school. First and foremost, again, our children, our families, our teachers. I want to recognize Josie DiPietro Smith, Joe Smith, Joe is here, okay? And I want to recognize Gail Hills and Bob Kennelly and Mark Kibbe and all of the faculty for your great work in helping us develop this school. I want to recognize my friend and mentor whose shoulders I stand on, the CREC giant, John Allison, who's here with us today. John, is over there. Good. And I want to thank the town of Avon. You know, when we look for a place to build a school, it's not like we come from that town. Okay, and in some towns they view us as a Target store moving in, you know, or some other store moving in, and so it's not like we're embraced by every town, right? And they look upon us as a competitor. Right? And why would CREC be putting in a school, you know, in our town? It would draw some of our children away, and you know, so why would we support such an effort? But Avon embraced us. I remember there was a time when I was working with the State Department of Education when around the racial issues about making the State Department of Ed's numbers for chef, that Avon was the punching bag. Do some of you remember that? Okay. Whenever they could criticize a town, they were picking out Avon because of the wealth of Avon and, you know, some suppositions that the State Department might have had. But when we came to Avon and we asked about the possibility of putting a magnet school here, we were embraced by this town. They helped us in every way possible. Right? They showed us different places where we could develop the town. They gave us good advice. They were supportive of us. They were beside us. Okay? And in every way, from going through planning and zoning, meeting with the town manager, meeting with the town planner, okay, right on up to the construction, the town of Avon has been there beside us. So I can't thank the town of Avon enough. So on behalf of the town of Avon, I really would like to thank Brandon Roberts, the Avon town manager, Gary Mala, the superintendent, current superintendent, Peggy Rell, the chair of the Avon Board of Education, David Penna, the Avon town council, Heather McGuire from the Avon town council, and the Avon Police Department. Thank you all so much for your help. A good friend of mine may be here today, Martha Stone, who is one of the attorneys who represents the plaintiffs in the chef movement. Martha and the chef plaintiffs, those attorneys, are great warriors in serving to defend the best interests of children throughout the state of Connecticut, and I want to thank them for their good work also. I also want to thank a good friend of CREC and a good friend of Avon and Canton, my legislator, Senator Kevin Whitkos, who's here with us today. Kevin. We have to remember that the funding for these schools goes through the Connecticut General Assembly, and Kevin was there supporting us all the way, so I want to thank you so much, Kevin. All right. I also want to thank the CREC staff, our construction staff, Marnie Liska, who is the project manager. So Marnie, if you're here, would you stand up, please? Where's Marnie? I'm really proud of Marnie because when you think of a construction manager or a project manager, somebody's going to put on the hard hat and talk to the guy in the tractor or in the bulldozer and say, I want you to do this and I want you to do that, and you got to lay it on the line with regard to the construction teams, that we have this little, twit of a 105-pound woman, okay, who speaks in a big voice. And when she speaks, everybody sits down and listens. All right? So I want to commend you for that. She's a real hero. She's a superwoman. Right? I also want to thank my other colleagues, John Meno, who's the director of the Division of School Construction, and Sandy Cruz Serrano, who's our operations director who oversees construction, and Don Walsh, the deputy executive of CREC, who is our site acquisitions officer and who took us through the planning and zoning, the location of the sites, and everything that we needed to do in order to begin construction. I want to thank Mason Thrall and Douglas Henley and Jeff Sidewater, Chris Nolan and Nikisha Strickland, people who most of you don't know, okay, but they are the people behind the scenes who make everything work. Okay? These are the people who are in charge of school security, technology, and transportation. I want to thank Dina Kroll, our superintendent of schools, who's here with us today, and Marlene Laviano, who's the assistant superintendent, and Tim Sullivan, our assistant superintendent for operations. They've done a superb job in helping getting this school ready, so I want to thank you all so much. Yeah. I need to recognize Joe Townsley. Joe Townsley, former superintendent of schools in Simsbury, who was my mentor when I was a superintendent, and who came over to work at CREC and wrote the operations plan for this school and so many other schools at CREC, and who was a superintendent of the CREC schools for a while. I want to thank him. He's here with us today. Joe, thank you so much, my friend. Sarah Ellsworth, our Director of Data Analysis, Research, and Technology. Sounds pretty sophisticated, but essentially it's technology. They do all the wiring and they do all the thinking. She's the concrete sequential of CREC. And Aura Alvarado from our Communications Division, Julia Weiner from Communications, Kelly McLaughlin, and the entire Communications team. I also want to recognize especially Fryer Associates, David Fryer and Glenn Yeckel. Okay. So I've worked with a lot of architects, and oftentimes it ends up, architects, I think, okay, from my perspective, see themselves as some kind of artist or something, and they think they own the building, right? And we're paying them to build what they want to build, right? And so it's difficult, in my experience, to work with some architects because you'll say, I want it to look like A, and they say it should look like B, and they'll say, but I'll bring you A, and when they bring you the design, it looks like B, okay? And you say, no, that's not what I was thinking about. We were thinking about A. They say, okay, we'll fix it, and they bring you the design again, it looks like B, okay? So in my experience in working with architects, that's generally how it is. But with Fryer & Associate is remarkably different. I'm not paying homage to an architectural firm for them to give us a better deal on the next building that we build, okay? I'm being genuine here. Okay? They listen to us. They listen to us talk about, we want to build a facility that sends a message to everyone that this is a monument to children. It's a monument to education. It's a monument to our teachers, okay? And what happens there is extremely important. And everybody who works there and who walks into that building is highly valued. And they gave us such a building. So I want to commend you all for your great work. And so, David, and if you all would stand up, please. Thank you. I also want to thank Neufeld Construction, the Consulting Engineer Associates, Banish Associates, Sawaski Associates, and ORM, and I apologize for mispronouncing any names that I might have. So congratulations and thank you all for your good work. I also want to thank the Connecticut State Department of Education. Okay? They did a very good job in helping us get through the construction process of this school. And again, I can't tell you how important it is, okay, to have the Connecticut General Assembly support these efforts, and again, Kevin's hard work, okay, in helping us get this, the funding for this school and the school construction. So again, thank you so much. All right. So, best wishes to our children in this school, our teachers, our families. This school is going to be around for a long time. A president of the United States is going to come from this school. A governor from the state of Connecticut is going to come from this school. A doctor is going to come from this school. And a lawyer and teachers are going to come from this school. And great parents are going to come from this school. And children are going to send their children to this school. So thank you all so much. Thank you. Now, I'd like to introduce the principal of the school, Josephine DiPietro Smith. Isn't that a beautiful name? Very good.
Good afternoon. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you as the principal of the CREC Reggio Magnet School of the Arts and welcome you to our ribbon-cutting ceremony. Much like this building was constructed by countless bricks and stones, the culture has been built by countless tiny moments linked together to bring us to this moment in time. Here we stand today in the midst of history, the building of a school district, school by school, charged with the honor and the privilege of providing children and families with the highest quality of education. It is important to remember that we stand on the shoulders of great men and women who have helped pave the way. As a nationally recognized, four-time award-winning magnet school of distinction, the Reggio Magnet School of the Arts shares in their visions and dreams. In the spring of 1945, during the aftermath of World War II, a group of parents in a village on the outskirts of Reggio Emilia, Italy, salvaged bricks and beams to construct a school for their children. Much like the first Reggio families, our Reggio community has come together to construct a nurturing, welcoming environment for our students to continue to express themselves. The numerous greetings we share each morning upon student arrival and each evening in the valet line, the shoes we've tied, the tears we've wiped away, the lessons we've taught, the boxes we've packed and unpacked 4 times, have created a rich, strong bond, a community, the Reggio School community. Our journeys have taken us from 9 classrooms in Avon Park North to a schoolhouse in the town of Simsbury, to a renovated commercial facility in Avon Park South, and finally to our forever home right here in the heart of Avon. In true Reggio fashion, the process of designing and building a school has inspired careful and meticulous evaluation of every aspect of our school culture and the environment, which mirrors our deeply held beliefs about teaching and learning. Our planning in collaboration with a variety of stakeholders has resulted in building a design that reflects Reggio principles, inspires the viewers, and invites deep community ties. Our dreams, coupled with the collective experiences of designing this facility, add yet another thread to the richly woven culture of the Reggio Magnet School of the Arts. In the Reggio Emilia tradition of cooperative work, there is a sense of community and solidarity. I firmly believe that the spirit of cooperation evidenced in our collective endeavor to provide the best quality of education for our students will transcend and leave enduring marks on the culture of our community and on the lives of tomorrow's leaders, our children. But our dream does not end with the completion of this building. We remain focused on the goal of establishing a center of excellence, an enriched learning environment that pairs high challenge with loving support as we continue to guide children through individualized academic programs. It has been said, excellence is the result of caring more than others think is wise, risking more than others think is safe, dreaming more than others think is practical, and expecting more than others think is possible. And look where we are. Thank you, each and every one of you, for your continued support and partnership in providing excellence in education and in helping our dream become a reality.
I'd like to ask the Avon Town Manager, Brandon Robertson, to say a few words.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It really is my pleasure to be with you this afternoon on this very important occasion. What a difference 15 months makes. I remember being at the groundbreaking back in September of 2012, and who would have thought you'd have such a beautiful product just over a year later. Some of the best advice I ever received when it comes to making public remarks is to be brief, to be brilliant, and to be gone. So I'm going to try to do that this afternoon. I'm here with a couple of other members of town staff. First in the back row, I see Jamie DePace, who's the Assistant Building Official Fire Marshal. I see Steve Kushner, our town planner, and I also see Jim Sansone back there. Jim is our building official. Each of those officials had a very important part in making sure that your dream became a reality. Avon is your partner. I don't think I can say it any more eloquently than Dr. Bruce Douglas did. We're here to help you succeed. Anything we can do in that regard, all you need to do is ask. So for all the thousands, hundreds of children that will come out of this school and go on to do great things, we join you in celebrating that. So thank you and best of luck.
I'll ask my friend, Peggy Rell, the Chair of the Avon Board of Education, to speak to us.
Thank you, Don. On behalf of the Avon Board of Education, I would like to welcome each of you to Avon this afternoon. It is great to have another outstanding school permanently located in Avon. Reggio joins not only the Avon Public Schools, but also Avon Old Farm School and the Talcott Mountain Science Center, among others, serving students here in Avon. Thinking about what to say today, I kept coming back to the phrase, I think we can, from one of my favorite children's books, The Little Engine That Could. It certainly has been a long process, longer for some of you, to get to today's ribbon-cutting ceremony. There are definitely a lot of I think we cans over the last 3.5 years. Why did we keep saying, I think we can? I believe it was not only the opportunity to be part of providing an outstanding education for the students of Reggio, but also the opportunity for the entire Avon community to benefit from having Reggio located in Avon. Standing here today in this state-of-the-art facility proves to me once again how important it is to get accurate information disseminated so the right things, great things, can happen. I look forward to many great collaborations between the students and staff of Reggio and the Avon Public Schools and all the residents of Avon for many years to come. Once again, welcome to each of you from the Avon Board of Education. And before I'm done, I just want to introduce two other people that are here that haven't been recognized. One is Brian Glenn, who's currently on the board and is our CREC rep, and our former Board of Ed member, Barbara Zuras, who is not only a very active Board of Ed member, but also a very active CREC Council member, and very active in getting this building to become a reality. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Peggy. And now please welcome our General Director and Superintendent of all CREC schools, my friend, Ms. Dina Kroll.
Good afternoon. So today, we're really at the end of one road and the beginning of another. We finished, for the time being, with the building planning, we finished with our construction, and now it is time to bring life to this school. The school is now filled with children who each bring a deep curiosity with them and who have different dreams, different abilities, and different ideas. By opening this school, we are really changing the future. Every student in this school at Reggio has the potential to achieve greatness. I would like to thank the members of the Reggio Magnet School Arts community, including the leadership, the teachers, and the parents, for collectively making this school a place where children are really proud to attend. Thank you. All of our efforts that we do here are for the children, and seeing them here today helps to ground us, ourselves, in this why we're here, the reason we are here, and that is really to provide high-quality, integrated education for the students of this school. We thank you for celebrating this new beginning for Reggio Magnet School community with us. This celebration symbolizes a new day and new opportunities for students, families, and staff. For each of the schools that we've been building, and if you know CREC, we've been building quite a few. This is someone asked if I do this every Friday, because last Friday we did the same thing. But for each of our schools, we have a vision of really creating a building that's worthy of educating every student that attends here. Building the Reggio School took a great deal of, like you've heard, collaboration, a lot of work, a lot of creative construction, and many minds to really produce the innovative design of this school. Many people worked on this. The design enhances the teaching and learning process. It encourages exploration, critical thinking, and problem solving. When you walk around the building, you'll see that each grade level has a studio space, or an atelier, I think it's called, and really those spaces will be filled with materials that kids can use to really show what they've learned, their concepts, in a hands-on way. So many thanks to the architects from Fryer and Associates who really designed this space that exceeded our vision, and for the construction team who transformed that vision into this beautiful new building that you see today. We also really want to thank the CREC Council, the superintendents, and the Board of Education that have partnered with us in this effort for a long time to provide these opportunities for children. We're always compelled to recognize Elizabeth Horton-Sheff, the Sheff plaintiffs, and the State Department of Education, and all the legislators for believing in high-quality education in this region. We're particularly thankful, as you heard, from Avon, really to continue to host our school in your town. We know that this is a good thing for Avon, this is a good thing for CREC, and it's the best thing for the children. Together, we can send a very strong message that why we are here and why it's so important. At CREC, we accept the responsibility of educating each and every child that enters this school in all of our programs, and we take that responsibility very seriously. That is why we work relentlessly towards the effort of eliminating the achievement gap and ensuring that all children are reaching their highest levels and achieving that way. As once was said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. We thank you for partnering with us in this endeavor and for creating an environment that provides boundless opportunities today, tomorrow, and beyond. So thank you very much for coming with us today. Right now, I'm going to ask Josie to come back to the stage to introduce our fifth graders.
We save the best for last. I'm pleased to share that the ceremony will end with a performance by some of our fifth graders. Fifth grade student Jalen will read an excerpt from Nonviolence on the Move, a play that the class will be performing in the upcoming months. The words are those of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who in word and action stood for all that we as a school hope to accomplish: equal opportunities for all people regardless of race, creed, or economic status, and a brighter future for all children.
'Tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free, 'tis the gift to come down where we ought to be. Then when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend ashamed to turn. Turn will be our delight. Still by turning, turning we come round right. Now, without further ado, here is our moral leader of the nation, Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. But 100 years later, the Negro is still not free. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, little sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream one day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and little black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and little white girls as brothers and sisters. Let freedom ring.
Let it ring, let it ring.
And when this happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and hamlet, from every state and every city, when we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, we will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Avon Planning Director Steve Kushner, so helpful through this whole process.